All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer. I'm with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are gonna talk and review the movie that's been out for a few weeks now, Monkey Man, with Dev Patel, starring, acting, writing. He's the man of the hour with that movie. So we're gonna get into our reviews, our ratings, what we like, what we dislike. But before we jump into that, Brian's got a quick rundown of what the movie's about.
A young man ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he's beaten bloody by the more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, he discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of City Sinister's elite. As his childhood trauma boils over, his mysterious scarred hands help him level the field.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not the best synopsis. I feel like there's
a lot more
like,
about the men who did more to in his bad in life, in his past, and he's literally been trying to find a way. He didn't care about the Fight Club. He was fighting and trying to get to this guy who's killed his mama.
That's like a revenge story, through and through. So but yeah, I was like, Fight Club. I was like, what? So all right, so we're gonna get to what we liked about it. Brandman, what you like about this one?
It was very to the point. It really hit the ground running. I liked the I like how grimy it looked and how grimy the fight scenes were at times. Just very for first time director, Dev Patel did a great job, and I never would have pegged him as like a credible action actor, but he managed to. I think sometimes even the simplest of plots kind of boil down to execution regarding whether or not it works, and I think the execution did work. It pretty much delivered what the trailers were had promised, just straightforward revenge story, and yeah. That's what I got. So it's pretty happy with it in that regard. Crazy to think that this almost didn't get a theatrical release. I think it kind of would have been a shame if it did not. Because it was fun to watch in the theater with a crowd of people. I'd say, the acting wasn't anything Oscar worthy, but it did its job. Like I said, it was a story that we've seen over and over again, just standard revenge story, but it worked in that regard. I thought it was executed pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. What are you, Brian?
I think what kind of separates it is the action scenes overall. I think they did an amazing job. All the work that they did with everybody else was just, it's so electric. It's like adrenaline rush of fighting. Everyone was just, great hand-to-hand combats. It wasn't like anyone was pulling their punches. All of that would look authentic. Even the blood with the monkey mask and all that stuff, that was great. I thought the story was fine. I didn't hate it. I've heard the story before. I've seen the story before, but it was fine. But I mean, every action sequence was just great. Was well done, well choreographed. Details were done well. There weren't any plot holes, so the plot was well thought out. Just, I've heard it. I've seen it. Besides that, but I think this is good. This thing was really good.
Yeah. Maybe same with you guys. Like action, awesome. It was good. One thing I don't think you guys mentioned the cinematography on it was great, and I heard like it got to a point where I think their camera broke or something, and Dev Patel was like, part of this was filmed on his like iPhone, which is like kind of crazy, and I thought the cinematography was what pulled me in with it. Was like the way it was shot was really, really good, because it really showcased the action in a way where you felt you were like in there, man, like that bathroom scene, where they're fighting is like, man, like that was a great fight scene. So but it was a great first director debut for Dev Patel. he knocked it out of the park, and as also starring in it. So that's never too easy to do. So,
So he wrote the screenplay, right?
Yeah.
He's a producer. He kind of helped write the movie. He directed it and acted in it. The lead actor. That's
yeah. The only thing he didn't do was like write the music.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was really good. But I mean, like Brandman said, like it took Jordan Peele's I think studio to help push it out to the theaters because but yeah, it was a fun action movie that was like pretty good and it looked gorgeous, I thought at times too. All right, what did you not like about it? Is there anything you didn't like about it, Brandon?
There were a couple of instances of shaky cam, which I really don't like. In an
I know
action movie,
when you said it, you liked the way it was shot, and I knew he was going to say shaky cam. I knew it.
I think shaky cam is just like one of the worst things to happen to cinema. Especially when it comes to action movies. I blame frigging Paul Greengrass for who did like the last several like Bourne Identity movies with Matt Damon for making that a thing. I think some of the fight scenes were also filmed kind of super close, and I kind of like to see what's going on when it comes to a fight scene. I there were definitely some standard tropes when it came to a revenge story. Like I said, it's kind of to be expected. I think Dev Patel kind of put that secondary to like the action sequences and that sort of thing. But I'd say those were my main things with it. I have kind of like a short list of things that didn't work for me, but at the same time, it was a standard. It was a standard revenge movie, and a lot of things come with that, good and bad. So
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, what are you, Brian? What didn't you like about it?
I don't know if I don't like. I would have liked to see more cultural things. It being taking place in India, like we saw some, but it was very superficial. I would have liked a little bit more of that. Even if it didn't have to do with the story, but just seeing how the culture of the change in it's poor and the rich there are it's a huge caveat. Like it's huge difference between each one and how it works there, and that's why he's able to kind of fit in. You don't see him. He's almost invisible. That's how you're
Like
able to
it
do a lot of
blends
stuff.
in. Yeah.
Exactly. It's because they don't look at you that way. You're just whatever. We're not looking at you that way. And that's kind of how he's able to blend in. I also don't like the fact that really you call it Monkey Man, but the only thing that happens is he gets beat in the face when he has the monkey mask on, and then he bleaches. He spends all this time bleaching this monkey mask white, and then he gets to the end scene where he's about to go in and kill, do all final boss stuff, and he puts the mask down. Why did you bleach it if you did and do all that work? If you're gonna put the mask down at the end, I don't understand. Like we actually had him time of filming, seeing him do this, the mask and all that stuff. Maybe it's because it's on a $10 million budget and he tore the mask and he realized I can't use this anymore. So he just put it down. So it's obvious that we seen him put it down, but he didn't use it at all. I thought it was like he was gonna try to hide his identity till he got up higher. But literally didn't do that at all. They knew exactly who he was because he worked there. It was just like a postman returning to work and come kick everyone's butt. I didn't understand that. So,
Yeah.
but I think that those are small things. I don't mind shaky cam in the right instance. If you're giving me a point of view, point of view from the first person's point of view, that's okay. As long as you do it, throwing it in with other viewpoints. I don't think it's good to just have that as your number one view. But as long as you're doing it, throwing it in with other type of scenes, other things, I'm okay with that. Especially and I don't care about the rest of the scene of them betting on that stuff because I got enough of that because you saw from the crowd. I didn't need to see that again. I already knew what was going on. So now I just want to focus on the fight part.
Usually I leave the comments a little bit towards the end, but this one was
That's
too
hilarious.
good. He decided against the mess because he wasn't monkeying around.
He was done monkeying around.
Oh, Mama Bear. That was a good one. Yeah, with some of my dislikes, it was just for me, like I wanted to see more cultural kind of stuff. You know, I wanted to see the in and outs of like this city that they live in and the country that they're in and stuff like that. And it just seemed like, oh, cool, it's an India mob. You know, it was like, you know, like I just felt like I seen that before. You know, and same thing, a revenge story, like Brandman said, I've seen it before. You know, I wanted more of like that lore of the Monkey Man and stuff like that. I thought in the beginning it was a little bit slow, and then these weird flashbacks, just like glimpse and glimpse and glimpse, and I'm like, okay, I know you're trying to tell me a story in flashbacks, but you're not giving me a solid one until they did it. Then they told you the whole backstory in his drug infused, like you know, state that he was in, or whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, the hallucination, you know, stuff. So, but I was like, but you already started giving me the parts, you know, and then you just brought all those parts together, you know, like I don't know, it just felt like I don't know. It felt like it was just like jammed in there, like all action story, oh, a quick glimpse of like the past, you know, and I don't know, it just felt too jarring. That's it. I think that's what it was for me, you know, and you know, I mean, it didn't ruin the movie, but it was just like, I think you could have done it better. But yeah, you know, the acting was okay. You know, it was nothing great from everyone else. I thought Dev Patel was.
I thought he
was the best
job.
out of all of them. You know, some of the other ones were just kind of like, okay, you know, but yeah, I don't have too many dislikes besides like just it's a generic ish story that we've seen a bunch of times, you know, and the flashback stuff I just had some issues with, but well, that's about it. All right, so here at Spoiler Kings, we keep things nice and easy. Our rating system is now, later, never. Now means you got to go run to the theater, watch it before it gets spoiled. Later means you can wait till it's at home and watch it at home, and never means just skip it altogether. Brandman, what you give a Monkey Man?
I could probably give this a now. I thought it was a fun watch in the theater. Like I said, I didn't really hear anything about this movie until like 3 months back when the first trailer came out. I thought it was really fun to watch in the theater. I thought if you're looking for a straightforward action a movie, I think it really delivers. It was really easy to get into. Like I said, really my only problems were like the shaky cam and some of like the close ups with the fight scenes, and you know it went like overly generic at times, but overall it was an entertaining watch for me. So I could give it a now.
Okay, were you, Brian?
Going into the movie, I thought is definitely gonna be a later movie for me. After watching the movie, it's more of a now movie, but it does have its problems, does have its faults. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it definitely was worth seeing in theater. I'm going to go now, definitely, because even the thought that this wouldn't have been on streaming service is nuts. This movie is a theater movie. It's one of my, I'm gonna guess this is probably top 10 movie for me this year. So yeah, that says enough for me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna give it a now. When it first started, I'm like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in. I was like, man, I don't get what the big deal is about this movie. But then once everything started picking up, I'm like, okay, you know, and I wind up appreciating it. So yeah, and I gotta give it a now just because on the big screen it's worth seeing. You know, a nice action film, you know, a really good action film is worth seeing on the big screen. And if you had any problems with it, one thing you didn't have a problem was the action, because it was pretty action packed. And real quick with our in chat, We got Brandon Davis said he's gonna give it a now. Kenny Sparks also giving it a now as well, and also go check out Kenny Sparks' channel where he does his review for this movie. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming and checking out the replay. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know what you think about Monkey Man. What was your favorite part about it? Did you like any action scenes more than the others? But appreciate all that. If you're watching live, we are going to get into the comments for this one.